So we're going to have our next match coming on up. We have ourselves a Stupid Junior, a Dance Dance Carnov, a Santa with Muscles versus Geordi Costa, not the character, but the misspelling of the man himself.
Geordi is the Santa, the eternal American rivalry, number 1 versus number 2. And meeting here in an international tournament, meeting here in semis is kind of tradition, depending on how the bracket's all built, of course. But
well, and I'm curious to see, because Geordi's been making small steps towards Santa's crown with every event, and he gets a game here and a score there. I'm interested to see if Geordi will be able to 2-1 Santa, or if Santa will shut him out entirely. We are on beach. We have Geordi's Geordi, and we've got Santa with Muscles, the man with Muscles, Klaus Vessel, and 80 seconds left in the clock, and still no scores as per the tradition.
You know, it's fun. It's kind of sad to watch Geordi have to fight this matchup so often, because it's clear that he's frustrated with it. You can see a lot of times during games like Game 2 or even the rare Game 3, that he's just like, it feels like he's bashing his head into a wall. He's doing a lot of the same things that work on a lot of other players, but Santa just doesn't let it work. Meanwhile, Santa is, of course, this is one of the more challenging matches for Santa, but he's still taking it very seriously, but he does not seem to really deviate from his typical strategies. The same kind of calm, relaxed gameplay that gets him through most of the games.
So you say that Santa has some of the more calm and collected strategies. However, he can't seem to move past Pyrotech. Is there a difference between Santa and Pyrotech's style that kind of cements them both as number 1 in both of their respective countries?
Pyrotech plays the game in a way that a lot of players don't. He is more often than not playing a complete shutdown defense. You cannot score on Pyrotech in a lot of his games. A lot of games will go to top, and that's infuriating. It's tough to have to deal with it. Santa plays a much more well-rounded kind of game, and he's really just kind of good at everything.
I will say this out loud, folks. We have been talking about the players' play styles and talking about various technical tips because Geordi and Dance Dance Carnov did not score the entire last set, allowing both players to go up a set and bring the pressure on a little more. This is more high-level Windjammers play. A lot fewer scores and more. It's just the endless volley, the volley that does not end between the two players, just continually jockeying back and forth. There's curves, there's supers, but at the end of the day, Dance Dance Carnov is the immovable wall, and Geordi is he's trying to gain the title of the immovable object.
The unstoppable object, either.
The unstoppable object. I'm good at this metaphor, you can tell.
Yeah.
Geordi with the first blood. The super spin knocking Dance Dance Carnov into the back lot. 3 points to Geordi, but we have 45 seconds. That does mean that Santa can get his score, or will Geordi hold him out for the next 40 seconds? No.
He should have just held his ground. If he would have held it, he could have...
No, because Dance Dance Carnov super, again, the Klaus Vessel Blitzkrieg at the net was able to slam Geordi into the back. However, Geordi's curve was able to grab his own 3 points. It's now 6-3, 20 seconds left on the clock. And as we go back to our usual Windjammers play, the tension is definitely there. 15 seconds, couple lobs here. There's a curve. There's no supersonics going on. However, into the air gets the charge. The spin throws Geordi into the 5-point zone. Dance Dance Carnov has a 2-point lead. Will Geordi score in the next 2 seconds?
Why?
Not this time.
If he wouldn't have touched it, it would have been the 3. It wouldn't have hit a 5. It would have been a tie. But no.
Oh, but how are you supposed to make that split-second decision when the disc is coming at you and the disc is on fire? You go for it.
You can't. It's all you walk away with regrets, but you never would have done anything different because you always think you can catch that. Especially because what you're going to sudden death. That's still not a win.
Get ready.
I will say this out loud for those of you who are unfamiliar. We are playing on Fightcade 2, and while the rollback netcode is a blessing to us, it doesn't quite feel like the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch or the actual arcade cabinet. So maybe Geordi could have gotten that one if it were on true hardware. But on this particular setup, that particular score was for Dance Dance Karnov. Meanwhile, we've gone on to game 2. Geordi has counterpicked Lon, trying to go for those coast-to-coast Costa curves, and Geordi does have first blood with a 3-0 score with 60 seconds. Make that an 8-0 score with 60 seconds left on the clock. Will Geordi win this by score, or will he time his opponent out as per the usual? Into the air, gets the charge, goes for the super, denied.
I think it's just like it really kind of puts on perspective that Geordi's been here, been at every tournament, moment one, signing up, practicing every night, coming in earlier and earlier because he knows this is his problem matchup. He knows this is the place that he needs to improve if he ever wants to be number one.
Sure.
So when he's taking him to these big stages, you can see a lot of tricky shots, a lot of full body things, and smart play. Unfortunately, that's not bad.
You know what? I gotta say, Twitch chat brings up a very good point. Loves the THC says that Geordi is hungry, and I can't imagine a better way to phrase it up. Again, Geordi has been fighting for that crown ever since kind of Crypt Kitty kind of dropped down a few rungs on the ladder. But this first game does go to Dance Dance Karnov.
He's just a little bit too forward.
Well, and I know that SantaWithMuscles regularly practices with the French players, Other End and Pyrotech. Geordi, I don't know. You're on Warp. You are on Fightcade a little more than I am. How often does Geordi practice against the best of the best?
It's the time zone difference a lot of the time. I mean, I'm sure he likes to play Pyrotech and Other End whenever he gets the opportunity, but it seems like Santa's there a lot more in those time frames than he is. Primarily because Santa seems to work into the graveyard while Geordi works a more standard schedule. It is what it is, and we're living international, like an international game like this, it's a little bit challenging sometimes to play everyone you want to play. But so far in this game, we can say that it's been half the game in this case, which is a lot more nuts than on a deep set because there's a lot more room for error on one.
Well, and the pressure is definitely there because even though there is no score, Dance Dance Karnov has that first set. If nobody scores this entire set, both players go up a set, Dance Dance Karnov wins the round and will move forward in the bracket. So Geordi is definitely feeling the heat. This is one of his last chances to stay in the winner's bracket. Super spins along the bottom, denied, into the air, doesn't go for the charge. Instead, bounces it around, Dance Dance Karnov. 3 points, first blood to Geordi, 20 seconds left to go. Now he's got to hold the lead.
Those wide shots are really usually better for positioning because they're slow. And if you're in the back, they're very catchable. But at the net, if it's a little bit more back than you think it is, it can get right around you. You can still maybe catch it with a smart backdash, but it doesn't matter if he scores again.
All right. We have ourselves a game. Geordi with those 6 points, keeping Dance Dance Karnov from moving forward. Now both players have a set, and I will be interested to see if Geordi will be able to take the game off of Dance Dance Karnov on lawn, because maybe we can establish a new Windjammers North America tradition of Geordi beating Dance Dance Karnov on lawn. Yeah, I always make sure you finish your sentences, kids. Super spins along the bottom, denied, into the air, doesn't get the charge. And we are back to our usual looking for opportunities gameplay as the coast-to-coast Costa curves continue to keep Dance Dance Karnov on his toes.
The last thing you want to do is throw something that goes right to where your opponent is, because that gives them the opportunity to make something out of something. As long as they're weaving and bobbing up and down, they don't have as much space to get the supersonics or pop up for a super. And you can see every time it goes right to Santa, he's taking full advantage. He's going to cheat up in the net, go for more interesting shots, and get things going. But Geordi's really just trying to keep the back and forth moving so he doesn't have the opportunities. But it's not working out on a scoring sense, unfortunately.
Well, and again, this is high level Windjammers. There are few scores because the volley is endless. And what you're telling me here is that the Canadian Windjammers that I've always played directly to your opponent doesn't work in high level?
It absolutely doesn't, because the more your opponent has chances to pop up and move forward, the better. Yeah. See how he was up
15
with the net?
seconds left on the clock. 10 seconds left on the clock. Geordi is able to get those 3 points around Santa. Will Santa be able to score 3 points of his own? Here comes the 5. No! Geordi, with the age-old technique of running down the clock, allows Santa to land that lob, holds the disc, and that is it. Geordi has a game of his own.
Man, call up the Street Fighter Cross Tech and we laying it out, boys. Going all the way to the end of the timer. You don't need to win by the full score if you win by a single point.
A single point. And it's one of those where we start to get into the discussion of if lobs are worth it. Lobs are worth it when you are trying to get that edge, but you can also use lobs to your advantage in order to buy yourself time. We're going back to no, we went back to tile because that was the game previously. Geordi and Santa did not play on tile. This will be their first time.
Back to a narrow stage, and yeah. As Fireball has mentioned, it is nobody really plays Wessel on a tiny stage quite like Santa, and it's really hard to deal with the way he uses the pressure and the speed and everything about him to play a complete game. Geordi doesn't have as much room to make his curves develop, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to put anything on the board at all. So we'll see if he can make something happen. And Tiled is a stage where things like to happen because, more than one 5 zone. See?
Santa with Muscles, first blood. He's got 5 points on the board with that wide Wessel curve into the corner, but Geordi is able to get 5 points of his own, bouncing along the bottom half of the court. And we are back to a tie.
Santa just being a little bit out of position, going for the straight down to be able to catch it midway through the arc, and able to make sure he caught that before he was able to sneak past him. But all this up in the net play is dangerous for both players involved. Usually, like you saw a lot of passive play for the long sets in Beach and in Lawn, and now both players are getting a little bit more antsy with a little bit more offense. Which, good and bad for both players. As you know, the more you get forward you are, the harder it is to catch the disc. But for Santa, especially, it's going to be, you can still backdash and catch a lot of that stuff.
10 seconds left as we go forward. Both characters only have 5 points. This may be another tie set. 2-1-0.
This is the game. We're
This
going down
is
to
the
the
game.
final.
We're not anywhere near grand finals, but we definitely feel feel the pressure, feel the jaws of victory as well as the jaws of defeat. Dance Karnov, first blood with the Wessel Blitzkrieg at the net. Like we were saying, a dirty trick, but an effective one. Into the air, gets the charge, goes to the lob, denied. As Dance Karnov takes possession, we'll see if Geordi can work a miracle of his own to grab 3 or 5 points. Again, Tiled has a 5-3-5, allowing for double the opportunity. Actually, I don't know if it's a true double the chances to score a 5 because if you measure the surface area, but because the corners are 5 points, you can score quickly here.
I would not be surprised if no more scoring is done. Santa's pulled back a lot more. He's not going for as much in pushing the net like he did in the last set.
Well, Santa's on the oh no! Geordi pushes the net as Santa gets the supercharge, and Santa's allowed an easy super lob, bringing that score up 0-6. Geordi is now on the back foot. He has to score twice. He has to score a 5 in the lob. He has to score a 5 and a 5 or a 3 and a 3. And Dance Karnov increases that gap, landing the lob. 15 seconds left on the clock. I'm just not seeing this happen, but this is Windjammers. Anything can happen. 8, 7,
Santa's
6.
made so many good plays in into that final set. Most notably, Geordi threw this really smart, narrow, back diagonal shot that was supposed to hit the corner, right? But it just, Santa knew just immediately, oh, it's going down. I'm going to slide full force all the way down.